Hi, I'm James Schillinglaw for Insider Travel Report. I'm here in Chicago at the Brownell Academy. It's the first time I've done this. It's their big meeting for this incredible host agency, which is well over 100 years old, as they keep telling us. And it really, I've known Brownell for a number of years when I go to Virtuoso conferences, but this is the first time I've really spent some significant time with them. And we're here today with, introduce yourself, please.
Catherine Norton.
Austin Leatherberry.
Okay. And they are part of the partnership team that works with all of the supplier preferred partners for Brownell. And we're going to talk with them about how they do it and who they focus on. And last night we had an award ceremony for some of them. And we're going to talk about that and more on Insider Travel Report. Catherine, first of all, great to see you.
You as well. Yeah. So glad you're here.
It's been a great show, and first surprisingly, and perhaps not, because you've done this for how many years?
Well, Brownell's been around a long time, but this is our 19th company meeting, and it's evolved to be Brownell Academy.
Yeah, now Brownell Academy is where you can do a lot of training and education, but also networking with all of your preferred suppliers. It's, kind of like a lot of hosts are doing this now, but you've been doing it for a while, right?
Yes. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, right?
Absolutely. And yesterday, I actually learned a few suppliers I'd never heard of that were your award winners. And talk about some of those, because I just had not heard about that.
Well, we're very intentional about our partnerships, and we don't just work with the same people that everybody else works with. We have many that are kind of our secret little gems. We'd love to keep it that way too, but we just feel like we want to work with the best of the best, and that doesn't mean we're working with partners that work with everybody else.
So many of them are sort of boutique tour operators, but yeah, there's an interesting mix. You had safari operators and a lot of others, but what do you look for in an operator before working with them?
A lot of things, some, more interesting than others. Obviously, we do look at some of the back office, insurances, liability things, but also it's really, how they deliver on the ground with the clients, their creativity, and of course, how they work with us as their partner, on the planning side with the advisors. And we view them as our partner in country. We really are intentional with how we use the word partner versus a vendor or a supplier. So those that we feel like are aligned with our, visions and values and can also deliver for the clients on the ground.
It also sounds like people who give you more individualized service and really can, with your travel advisors. Now, I did see some suppliers I do know very well here. And in fact, I'm interviewing one a little later. We work with them a lot. Places like, Colette, and obviously Emma Waterways is here. And even DMCs that I know, like Virginia from Made for Spain and Portugal is a good friend. But then, as I said, you're getting a little out of the box with the other ones. Now, exactly, how is it? How do you justify you have Virtuoso preferreds that I assume you use as well, right?
Yes, well, we have 141 advisors, so we need a good variety. They all have different business models, different ways of working. We have some that do have a different type of client, so they need different partners. So it kind of depends. It's part art, part science, and per se Italy, where our biggest destination, we need multiple partners. A smaller destination, we really try to keep it smaller because we don't want to dilute those partnerships. We want to be able to give them the investment that they've given us. So we're very, very intentional about that. But we need a little bit of everything. Yeah. We have different advisors.
Well, and I also I didn't really see a lot of cruise partners. I'm sure you have them, but how do you choose your cruise partner?
Again, it really, we lean heavy on our Virtuoso relationship. Of course, that's important to us. And our advisors, it's a mix, and river, ocean, luxury, these expedition lines. We look at their product first and foremost, and then also, how they'll work with us on the agency level and their advisor friendly, terms and conditions, all that kind of thing. So
We've had a big focus on training our advisors to be able to sell cruises. It's not something, we're not a cruise heavy.
Well, that was my impression from the travel advisors I've spoken with. They're not as cruise heavy. They're very good advisors, very good luxury advisors, but they don't focus as much maybe on cruising.
Traditionally, we have been a more heavy FIT, but we know that there is great money to be made in cruising. The customer satisfaction is very high, so we've invested a lot of training. We actually had yesterday, you didn't see the cruise lines last night because they were here for deep dives yesterday. So we did longer appointments with them that was more than just product. It was how to sell. It was how to find the client. Oh, I don't have a cruise client. Everybody has a cruise client. How can we help you find them?
That's interesting. They didn't think that. And then I just got back from the Astor River Cruise Expo in Vienna, where I got all the brands that you could think of. And I assume you have a good number of those brands too, right?
Yes, absolutely. All the usual suspects are in our preferred partner portfolio. So,
but they are more of the luxury end, you would say. You were talking about. I know Emma Waterways is here, but you were saying maybe Scenic is part of your portfolio as well.
Yes, all the 5-star, usual suspects in the river cruise space.
That's interesting because Scenic is actually not Virtuoso. They want to be, but I think Ken Muscat, who's a friend of mine, wants to be part of Virtuoso. But we'll see what happens.
We love Virtuoso, but we need to pick the best partners for our advisors, and sometimes that means finding some that are not. And so that's not a requirement for us, but it's certainly an important distinction for partners.
Well, you have a lot of preferred partners. How do you train all your advisors on, and also make sure they are selling those preferred partners?
Good question. This weekend is at the heart of that, and education is so important to us at Brownell. So ongoing trainings, both in person and virtual. That's why this meeting is so important. Gathering everybody you cannot beat the in-person, networking and appointments. But ongoing trainings throughout the year. We've got a robust database with sales tools, training library for the advisors to reference back and see, if they missed a live training, also to see how partners work, identifying sweet spots. So training is very important to us.
Absolutely. Now, how does a preferred supplier who might want to be part of your network get to be that? How do they become I know the Virtuoso process, but how do you choose and select your preferred partners?
Well, we usually get recommendations from our advisors, and then we dig in with them. We do all the boring stuff, the insurance, the liability, all the references, all the things. And we can say that we think a partner will be great and has potential, but until we have history working with them, advisor feedback, client feedback, we can never make them preferred without that. So we kind of set them up. We have a category called prospect that's sort of saying, okay, we feel like this would be a good fit. We see good potential, but we need your feedback. And so the advisors can maybe try them out, and then we look and see if they're worthy of being preferred. So it's definitely 100% based on performance, really.
Absolutely. One of the things we talked about operators, cruise lines. What about hotels? Do you just use the Virtuoso, or do you have your own specific? I know we were here at the Four Seasons, which seems to be a favorite partner. You were with Four Seasons last year in New Orleans, and who knows? We'll see what happens. You might be in the future. But how do you decide your hotel collection?
A little bit the same way we do with our other partners. Brownell, we're a proud member of most of the luxury, preferred partner programs that are invitation only with these hotel brands. So those are very important to us. We lean on our rep company partners, our on-sites to seek out maybe some hidden gems. But it's about the relationships and, working with these contacts on the ground and how they take care of our clients.
Yeah. So, and then of course, when someone wants to join, an existing travel advisor wants to join Brownell and seems to have the right qualifications. Obviously, one of those qualifications is, do they sell in your preferred categories? And so, how can they find that out, and who can they go to find out, whether they match?
Yeah. Well, we have a great onboarding program and interview process. And we always talk through before we add anybody. Okay, who are you using? And make sure that it aligns with the rest of our community. But sometimes they're using partners that we're not using, and we're okay with that because we always want to learn. We always want to be curious. That's how we meet new people. And so we just encourage them to look at who we use, who they use, and see, okay, let's try them. Let's see what's the best fit. And then maybe we'll look at adding them to our portfolio.
Yeah, well, as I said at the beginning, I watched your award winners, and you different kind of awards, because those are talk about those awards, because they're a different kind of category of awards, right?
Yeah, so Brownell has 6 core values, and throughout the year, advisors are sharing kudos internally with supplier partners that maybe go above and beyond and do a great job at something. And so we cull through all of those and identify those that rose to the top, whether it be, we've got curiosity, graciousness, innovation, integrity, passion. Is that 6?
Got them all.
I think I got it.
You got them all. I'd have time there. But then, of course, you go to many host agencies and obviously consortia, and the awards are based on sales performance. And you didn't seem to have those, right?
Well, it's a mixture. I mean, obviously, performance is important, but we're a family here, and we treat our partners as such too. And the soft stuff matters to us. How they show up for us. It's been a tough few years. Things are really busy. Things are imperfect right now on both sides, and we want to be gracious. We want to be a good partner too. And so, yeah. I mean, we love to honor the good things that they do that are not sales based. Yeah,
I was impressed by that, and because I am used to seeing that sales performance level, and also the flip side on the travel advisor side, you were honoring. You did honor certain levels, thresholds of overall sales, and very impressive overall sales. I've never, you definitely have. I think David Harris, your COO, pointed out how much money Brownell advisors are making, which is really at the top of the trade. I got to tell you.
Yeah, we're very proud of those numbers, and it's a testament to their professionalism. They're true entrepreneurs, and we feel that we've provided them this great portfolio of preferred partners that they can really elevate their businesses. Delivering the best product out there for their clients. And on the other side with cruise lines, we're at the top, commission tier with all of them, making those, profitable as well. So we're proud of those numbers.
Absolutely. Now, anything else you'd like to say to both your Brownell advisors who maybe aren't here, or to advisors at whole about Brownell and its preferred partner program?
Well, it's just a special place. I mean, both of us have been here, Austin 15 years, me 13. It's just like nothing else in this industry, I believe. We have the best partners, we have the best advisors, and we believe that and are committed to keeping it that way.
And anything for you?
Well said. No, we just, it really does. It's cliche, but it feels like family, and, we're all willing to work together, whether it's through something not fun like an issue, or celebrating the successes as well. So
those issues, they're key. You have advisors and partners that can work together to resolve issues are really the most important. Listen, I want to thank you I know you guys are busy here. You've been racing around with all your preferred partners. You had to make awards, things like that. It was a fun time last night, and I've had a great time getting introduced more heavily to Brownell. I've obviously met, at Virtuosos, I've met a lot of your team, but this is the first time I'm here, and it looks like. And if I'm invited, I hear you're going to New York in a couple of years. So if I'm invited, that's only a quick train ride away from me. So you don't even have to put me up in a Four Seasons, but
First,
it wouldn't
you
be.
just have to go to Birmingham.
That's right. I'm almost convinced. I'm hearing great things about Birmingham, and I think I'm going to make the trek. My daughter lives in Atlanta, and it's not that far. Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. This was fun.
Thank you for being here.
I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.